before you move inside, you need to know some of the things that are happening. And of course, let's first of all start by where is this place located. Okay, if you look at it very well, or even if you check on the world map, you may not be able to identify where it is, but somehow some people say it's in Asia, while others say it's in Europe, but somehow it's in between Asia and Europe. So this is something I want to draw your attention to. Now, remember, I said you have to pass from Istanbul before you go to TRNC, which is the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus. Where is it located? It is located in the Mediterranean Sea. Remember, this is an island. What is an island? A piece of land surrounded by water. Therefore, it is located in the Mediterranean Sea, south of Turkey and east of Greece. Now, this is where it is located. Some other people usually think that it is the same thing as South Cyprus. Cyprus is called one, but we have North and South. A lot of people don't know. North is controlled by Turkey, while South is controlled by Greece. Okay, North is not in the European Union. It is not in Europe. It is not a member of the Schengen zone. It is not in the European Union, like I already explained. But the southern part is the Schengen zone, which means that if you are in the southern part and you are legal, you can quickly move to Europe. Yeah, it is very easy to move to Europe. So that is the first thing you need to know. Now, let's talk about the cities. Very few cities are located. You have Kyrenia, you have Famagusta, Nicosia, which is the biggest. Of course, there is North Nicosia and there is South Nicosia. All right, North Nicosia is the capital of North, and South Nicosia is the capital in South. Of course, in Nicosia, which is the northern part I'm talking about, the student population is somehow very big, so you shouldn't be expecting something very small, but this is a very small country. Okay, less than 1 million, that is what, or let's say 1 million, or maybe so, but the total population is made up of foreigners, maybe Turkish, Filipinos, Indians and Pakistanis. These are the greatest, Africans as well, but you never really can tell. So this is what you need to know. And again, if you are looking at the other section, which is the southern part, you have places like Paphos, Lanaka, Limassol. All right, there are a lot of them, but I just wanted you to understand that this place is not really a big place, so you shouldn't be putting all expectations in one day or in there, because you may be frustrated, you may think otherwise. The first part is that when you reach the airport, you might just understand immediately that this is not really the place I wanted to be. Or sometimes if you really want to start from there, always ask questions. All right, ask questions to people that have been there, because it is visa free. Of course, you do not need a visa, and I don't think you need a lot of things. You just need to pay your flight, show your flight tickets, and you move. But before moving, make sure you put certain things into consideration. There are things I have insist on this channel that do not carry them there to TRNC, I mean, because if they found them on you, you'll be deported, because they are preventing a lot of things from happening in there. You cannot really ship things freely, you cannot do certain things freely nowadays, otherwise the things will be deported, or you will be deported when you bring the things in. Okay, there are a lot of things. People fake documents to move to TRNC, so immigration are already aware of that. People buy certain things, move in with dangerous stuff, and they are already aware of that. So if you carry things like powder, they will be discharged at the airport or dispatched. So please, you should know this. Now let's take a look at the weather. We all know that it often snows in Europe, and of course, when we are moving to Europe or to the European Union or to Schengen, one of our main things is that we might see snow. But I want to tell you today that in North Cyprus, it is not like that. All right, there are a lot of changes that have happened, and I want to say that even last year, some things were happening called inflation. For those of you doing economics and other subjects, you already know what inflation is, which means that if something was 2,000 before, now you are going to be buying it 5,000 in case there is inflation, because a lot of things lost value, and of course cost needs to go up. I don't know how to explain this, but understand that things that were bought in 2018, maybe 6 Turkish lira, you have to buy them now with 12 Turkish lira. When I was in I left 2019 and cooking gas was 60 Turkish lira, but nowadays cooking gas was told that is 200. Is it 150 plus, or is 200 plus? I don't remember. So these are some of the changes that are there. So I always insist that if you don't have money, do not find yourself in there. Go to better places when you have money. Travel abroad is preparation. Do not go when you are not prepared, okay? Because you are ready to suffer, except you really want to suffer yourself. yourself, or you want to get into hardship. It was difficult, but I struggled to pull through because I knew what I was doing. That was my first time abroad. So please, you have to be careful. Now, the currency is Turkish lira, British pounds, dollar, US dollars, and euros. Now, why are they using a lot of currencies like this? I really don't know why. But when you work in TRNC, you'll be paid using the Turkish lira. However, tuition fee is paid in euro. I paid my tuition fee in euro, which means that if I was earning Turkish lira, I would then take Turkish lira, convert it to euro, and give to them, or I will pay in Turkish lira at the bank. Then they will convert it to euro at the conversion rate. You see how difficult it was. Now, what happens is that when you let's say if you work and you earn maybe 300 Turkish lira, for you to get 1 Turkish lira during my time, you have to for you to get 1 euro during my time, you have to pay at least 6 to 7 Turkish lira. Now you are already losing 6 to 7 Turkish lira, whereas your tuition fee has not been paid. So you now understand the struggles I'm talking about and what are some of the things that you need to do. One, if you have money, you can go and study since it's going to be cheap. However, if you do not have money, don't go, because you will not go to school, you will be illegal, and at the end of the day, you might just get frustrated. This is just pure facts and nothing but facts. Now, another thing is, if you are moving into TRNC, you should understand that you are going to read very well. You have to read. It's not something that I'm just talking about. You have to read. It is mandatory that you have to read. So you have to put this into consideration. Okay. Then we already talked about the weather. We are talking about, let's talk about accommodation. Now, unlike other countries where accommodation might be in apartment or dormitories, or let's say single rooms, in TRNC you cannot take an apartment alone, because most apartments are like 2 plus 1, which means that 2 bedroom, one parlor, one kitchen, and one toilet are usually some of the things that you are going to find. So before you move in, and they will usually cost around £350, 350 to £400, depending again on the location, the age of the apartment, and of course when it was constructed. That's the age. All right, because some landlords would ask you Turkish lira, while others will ask you in euros and pounds. I used to pay mine in pounds. We had 2 plus 1 and we were four, and our 2 plus 1 was £350. You understand? So this brings me back to the issue of the currency. You live in a country where you work and they pay you with Turkish lira, but you pay house rent in British pounds, then you pay tuition fee either in dollars or euros. Have you seen where the disparity is? It means you suffer more to give more money. All right, and at the end of the day, you stand with less. I hope you understand. So you have to put this into consideration, because it's not going to be easy. I'm just telling you facts. Don't go if you don't have money. Don't go if you don't have money. Very, very important. Again, some people were asking me if they can be paid in British pounds. No, British pounds is not a currency in North Cyprus. The currency is called Turkish lira. Therefore, when you walk in there, you are going to be paid Turkish lira and not British pounds. Put this into consideration and make sure you always remember that I said the currency is Turkish lira and not British pounds. And again, another thing I want us to dwell on is the issue of flights. The issue of flights. I will talk about flights before I talk about the language. Now, most of you, before you travel to TRNC, you should understand that flights are usually very expensive, especially when your journey is not programmed. But if your journey is programmed, try to pay your flights 1 month or 1.5 or even 2 months before your intended travel. The reason is this: it will drop down, or if you are paying far ahead, the money that you are going to be paying will be less. For example, if you are moving, if you are certain that you are moving on maybe May 3rd, and you are paying your ticket today, it means that you have barely 4 days to move. And someone who is paying against July is going to have more advantage over you. The person might gain maybe even 2,000 euros more than you. It all depends on the interval you are applying for. Remember, at the immigration desk at the airport, you would be checked. Your bag will be checked. All right. So if you carry dangerous objects or dangerous chemicals or things that are not good, you will be deported. Those things will be deported alongside with you. You have to be careful. There are detecting machines over there. All right. Don't think that if you take a fake documents and you're going in there, of course, people have struggled. They have succeeded with fake documents, but they will not catch them, but they will catch you. So you have to be very careful. Do not do things that will jeopardize your own image before people. Of course, the network system is very great when you go in there, except now that they are trying to change the network to, is it 4.5 gigabyte? I don't remember. But now the network is not really stable. But before, it was very good. All right. Internet is not expensive. Food is not expensive. Water is usually not expensive. Or else, the only problem is electricity. Because what most foreigners do is they consume electricity, and at the end of the day they don't pay completely. Maybe they move out of their apartment, the next person that comes in now, because if you don't pay, they cut it. You pay according to, it's like a card, you pay and they charge it. All right. When it gets exhausted, they cut it. And sometimes when it get exhausted, they don't cut it, but they inform you. Then when you use more, they cut it, and that is the end. And when they cut it, the figure will multiply. Before you enter the apartment, always make sure the meter reading is 0. Always ask them to show you, so that you know all these things. Otherwise, you may just go in and maybe you use something that others have already consumed, or maybe you pay for other people. So you have to put this into consideration. It is very, very important. Remember, you need to get a bank account, because bank account is going to help you in so many ways. I was telling someone that if you want to apply for a tourist visa from North Cyprus to Turkey, you need to know the documents you need. Of course, you need your student letters, you need your your student permit and other certificates, and even your medical insurance and code. But if you are not legal, it is going to be very difficult for you to apply for anything, because at the end of the day, no embassy will attend to you. If you already leave your home country and you are in another country and you are applying for a visa from another country, you are not a citizen in that country. Therefore, you need to show your legal papers to show that you are not a citizen. I hope you understand. These things are very, very important, and you need to pay attention to them, because if you do not, it is going to be very difficult for you. Now, let's take a look at the language. Language in North Cyprus is not English, it is the Turkish language. Now, I want to tell you that when you are moving to a new country, not just North Cyprus, but Turkey, if you are going even to the Netherlands or to Germany, or to Spain, to Slovenia, Slovakia, Czech Republic, you should try to learn the language. The reason is because you may get an opening where you will need to work with them, and language will limit you. And in North Cyprus, you cannot work if you don't speak with them. I'm telling you facts. You must be able to learn the language by force, so that you can interact and discuss with them. If you discuss with them, it will be easy, because they like people who discuss and make mistakes, but if you are willing to learn, they will teach you. I learned online and they managed to teach me. So these are some of the petty things that you need to know. And again, remember, like I said, accommodation is a very big problem. So don't carry your money and you give to somebody and say the person said that he will get me school, he will pay this for me, he will do accommodation. Very few people will do these things. Like I'm telling you, if you joke, they are going to squeeze all your money from you. So you have to be very careful with some of the things you are doing. And of course, before you move in, make sure you have money. It is very easy to live in there if you have your own money. If you don't have your own money, it's going to be a very big problem, a very big one. I can't overemphasize on this. A very big problem. So please make sure you have all the things intact. And now, those of you who are looking at admissions abroad to other places, to other countries, I'm still going to talk about so many of these. And those who are asking me about scholarship opportunities, they are equally available. There is nothing new again. But remember, before you apply for scholarships, you have to start the search from August, September, October, November, December, January. You should be ending any application that you have when it comes to scholarships, like the Chevening scholarships, when it comes to the Commonwealth scholarships, the Erasmus Mundus, graduate teaching positions in US grad schools, and a lot of other scholarships. There are a lot that I didn't mention. All right. I think Chevening is before August. I don't remember. Please verify very well. And so many other scholarships that are allocated. In Northern Cyprus, when you get admissions, they are going to give you a partial scholarship of maybe 50%. That 50% is they have already deducted a portion of your tuition fee before they are giving you 50%. So some people will lie to you that we gave you scholarship. Nobody is giving you except the school. It's only the school that will give you. All right. So you have to be careful with which school you are picking. Make sure you read very well, check their websites before you go in or engage yourself into anything. It is very, very important. I hope you enjoy this, and till we meet again in another one. Peace out.